air balloon, November 176 Lima Bravo, approaching Bowling Green traffic from the east, northeast. When I was a kid, my dad's company owned a hot air balloon, and yeah, I always had that desire to fly, and I became enthralled with it. So when I was a teenager, I started crewing for hot air balloons, and finally I came home one day and I told my wife, I said, you know, I'm going to start a balloon company, and knock on wood, that was in 1996, and today we're one of the largest balloon operation companies in the country. If you ask my parents why I do this, they say, because I didn't really want to work for a living. You saw the view from my office this morning. And that's what we get to do year-round, all the way across the country. It's less than 1/10% of the population actually get an up-close and experience in a balloon. So it's a pretty rare moment that the average person gets to fly in a balloon. I'm fortunate enough to get to do it 100+ times a year. And it's a phenomenal job, and I work for a phenomenal company. I'm with SkyCab Balloon Promotions out of Louisville, and we're a full-service hot air balloon company. It's so hard to describe, but I get to cross the country and meet the most interesting people, just the most everyday interesting people that come out, and I get to share what I do with them. By far the best is to get the kids, and to put the kids in and take them up for a short tether ride, because kids, their reactions are, if you had 100 kids in here, there'd be 200 different reactions, you know, from loving it to hating it. And I tell the kids in school, when we go out to the elementary schools, they all get excited about it, and they're very disappointed in the end, because when I tell them it's just a big science experiment, and then they realize they got to learn something. We start with an inflator fan, and we essentially blow just ambient air into it from the outside, and we'll get it about 60% cold air inflated. And then as it's laying over on the side, I just delicately throw a little bit of heat in, and as I throw that heat in, it heats the air molecules up inside the balloon, and it gets bigger. And as it gets bigger, it gets wider, and then eventually it'll start to stand up. As it stands up, then I can put a ton of heat into it and expand it out to its full size. It generally is about a 15-20 minute process, and then you get into your big science experiment. We heat the air up inside the balloon, and when it gets to a buoyant factor, we start putting a weight in to make your buoyancy reach the level that you can take off. And then once we lift off, we're using air currents. It's kind of like sky sailing, for lack of better terms. You're using the wind currents up at altitudes, typically for our standard flight between the ground and 2,500 feet. Love the morning flights. Absolutely fantastic part of the day. I mean, it's just, it's beautiful. As you get to see the sun come up and the dew on the grass and the little bit of mist in the air, it's probably the best combination of a job and your best hobby you could ever have. And it's just fantastic. And I've gotten to travel, I've gotten to fly in 36 states and 5 countries. 2 years ago, we got to cross the Great Wall of China in Mongolia, China. We flew across the Great Wall. It was in the Guiyang province, which is just an underdeveloped part of China. There's no big factories. It's out in the middle of nowhere, but it's probably one of the most original places on the Great Wall. And there was just thousands of Chinese people that had not only never seen Americans, they'd never seen hot air balloons, and it was just that, to me, was, you know, the most enlightening experience. It's opened up doors that I never probably could have done in regular business, and I get to do it flying balloons. I mean, what better way to see the world? So I've had the ability to be able to do different types of aircraft, but I always come back to the hot air balloon. I always come back to the hot air balloon because it's the most up close and personal that I get with people. But ballooning, for me, the reward of ballooning is to be on the ground and sharing it with the people.